At the
Before
rate,
suit.
You don't have to say the at the rate. You can just say the names.
before suit, after suit, before test, after test, before class, after class.
So before test, after test, before class, but before class, after class. Then
After
Before
method,
method. After method.
before method, after method, test. Anything else?
Data
at the
provider.
rate test.
At the test also done. Okay. Anything
Yes.
else?
Data provider.
Data provider. Shall we call it an annotation? Okay. I'll keep it aside as of now. Anything else?
Groups priority.
Groups. No, for groups, actually, there is an annotation before group, after group. The attribute. But mostly you don't use it before group and after group. But basically, these 9 are the most important ones. Before suit, after suit, before test, after test, before class, after class, before method, after method, test. So you guys know the sequence of their execution, right? So
Yes.
first is suit, then test, then class, then method, then test, then again it will repeat. Yes. Correct. So that means like before suit, before test, before class, before method, test, then again after method, after class, after test, after suit. So that would be your execution pattern. Now, basically what I'm saying, so if you consider, like, if you don't know listener, so still you can execute the test-ng classes with the like prerequisite and whatever the report publishing, everything can be handled with these annotations. Basically, like your test is happening here, right? In this level, in the middle. So 1 second, I'll like make it little bit better. Before suit, before test, before class, before method, test, after method, after class, after test, after after suit. So your test is happening here. So just suppose you want to do UI automation. I know some of you may have the idea, some of you may not. So if you want to do the UI automation, you have to open the browser. Or just suppose you are doing manual testing. So for any manual testing, there would be prerequisites, there would be some steps to follow. Then you will do the testing. And after that, the report should be published, right? Everything will happen. So basically, with the help of these things, you can already consider the activity, right? Like in the before suit, you can open the browser. In the before test, you can check the browser version. Here you can give the prerequisites, and here you can check the test steps are valid or not. Then you can do the testing, and then after method, after class, after test, after suit, in this you can just basically try to publish the report and all these things. So they were already there. Now, for this testing purpose, still the listeners came into the picture. That okay, whatever the activity is happening through test-ng, the listeners will observe through all the event. It will listen to the particular events, what is happening, what is going wrong, what is going correct. According to that, it will act. Okay. Why it was needed? So basically, if you think in a point of view, like if here the test case pass or fail, it doesn't matter for the after method, right? It will be executed anyhow. Correct? You guys are getting me? Hello. You guys are so
Yes,
silent.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you don't get me, just like stop me in the middle. I'll try to. If you have any doubts, just stop me in the middle. No issue. So just what I'm saying, if you have the annotations, we already had the annotations, right? Based on the testing. Before testing, after testing, there are few things you already could have done using them. But still, why there are listeners? That's what I'm saying. So we have the before suit, before test, before class, before method to do the prerequisites, to open the browser, to work on the things. Then we do the testing. And whereas closing the browser, generating a report and everything we can do through the after method, after class, after test, after suit. So these things have already covered whatever we need for the testing. But the point is now I'm doing a testing. My test result may go to pass, fail, skipped, anything, right? It may go to any pointer. So, but independent of getting it passed, failed, or skipped, always the after method would be executed, right? It would be common always. Correct? It doesn't matter
Yeah,
if the test case got passed
yes.
or failed. Everything will be executed all the time. Now that's why the listeners came into the picture. So now, as I said, let's first focus on I test listener. This is very important. Okay. I test listener. I'm not writing the whole one. I test listener. So I test listener listens as the name suggests. Okay. I means interface, listeners means will listen. What it will listen to the test. It will basically listen to this test. That's it. That's why the name is I test listener. Got the point? So iTest listener has different methods. It has around 6 to 7 methods, if I'm not wrong, but mostly used. I will tell all the names, but mostly used ones also I'll say. First is on test start. On test start. Then is on test success. On test failure. On test skipped. Then we have like on test failure with success percentage. So these are the most ones we have, like we are using in our real life. Still, I think I have missed 2 methods.
On start,
On
on
test
finish.
on
On
test failure
start.
with timeout.
Okay, I am not sure about the last one. On start, on finish. So these are the methods we are like mostly I would say these first 5 we use, and this depends. I'll come to that on start and on failure when it comes. So as I said, it would listen to the particular test, and even with the method's name from this interface, you can already guess, right, what is going to happen. So basically, whenever any test is getting started, this method will get triggered on test start. Okay, first, then the testing will happen. Then depending on the result of if it got passed, then it will go for on test success. If it got failed, on test failure. If it got skipped, then on test skip. And there is another method which is like important if you are doing a bigger flow of test case, which is on test failure with success percentage. That is mean what? Like if you have like 20 steps in your test case, 20 steps is there, and around 10 has passed, then it will say that 50% of the test case got passed, but 50% got failed. Like test case got failed, that's why on test failure, but with success percentage. What is the success percentage here? 50%. That's what. So these are the methods which mostly we use. Okay, and we have the on start, on finish. I'll come to that. Now, why we need this on test success, on test failure, on test skip? So basically, when you will be doing the UI automation, it will be more clear for you. But I can give you an idea. Like, just suppose the execution has been started. Okay, you have started the browser. You are doing the automation, UI automation. Like basically, the Chrome browser has been open, and you are doing some things in the Chrome. Now the test case has got passed. On a past test case, what do you need to do? You just need to close the browser and then generate a report. This is the past scenario. For a fail scenario, you may need to do multiple things. What, like if it got failed, I want to run it again if it has got failed. Okay, if it has got failed, I want to take a screenshot of that wave UI where particularly it got failed. I need to take a screenshot. Okay, if it got failed, I want to check why it got failed, like the exception and the stack trace. I want to print it out from the exception. So see, the from getting it passed and getting it failed, there are different activity as a tester we are doing, right? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir.
Please don't be dead people, okay? Because you can be unmuted, it doesn't matter. As long as you are not producing noises, I'm okay. So that's what I'm saying. From a testing result, if it passed, if it failed, we do different activity. Okay, if I show you 1 second, show you. So I think I have opened once. Yeah, this is the listeners. So you can see here, right? I test listener. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
see on test start is there. Then on test success. So on test success, what we're doing, we are just saying that end the current test and video recording stop. Okay, nothing else. And also driver close. This driver close, like the browser close. And on test failure, what we're doing, we are saying that first give me the like why it got failed, that particular stack test, give me that. Then I'm saying take a screenshot, then end the current test, then close the browser. So there are some different activity for the failure ones, right? For the skipped, I'm saying go to the report and mark it as yellow. And this is not implemented yet. So like that. So for every pass, every fail, and even on test start, it might be different activity. Like here you can see on test start, I'm starting the video recorder. So start record. You don't have to focus on this thing. Start record. So like that, we will have different patterns according to our need. Okay, every time. It would not be like 1 second. Yeah, it will not be like whatever the pass, fail, skipped, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to after method. It will not be like that because depending on your result of the test case, listeners will be active like that. And that's why listeners are needed basically because without them, these separate activities you can't do. Now the main question comes here, which is very vital question, I would say. I already have the annotations, right? Before, like, let's cut this out as of now. Class test suit. I already had, 1 second. I already had the before method, test, after method. Right? And from here, I have on test start. I have on test success. Let's focus on these three only as of now. On test failure. Correct? On test start will trigger when the test case is getting started. On test success and failure will get triggered whenever the test case is getting finished based on the result. So when they will be cooperated with these annotations, like what would be the sequence you think? Any idea, anyone? Like annotations will be executed first or listeners will be executed first. That's what I'm saying. Like any idea?
Annotations will execute first.
At the rate before method will executed first. After that, at the rate on test start. Then
Yeah, tell me why. Like,
yeah. Then after
Listeners will
successful, yeah, listeners will come into picture. There, if test is success, on test success will execute. If method is fail, so on test failure will execute.
okay, anyone else?
Like at the before method execute first, then it will trigger the on test start. Then the test case happen. If it is passed, then it is triggered the test passed listener. If the method, if the test case is failed, then it will trigger the failed test case. Test fail.
Okay.
After that, after method will execute.
Okay. Like anyone want to disagree with these two people? Like anyone want to disagree with these two people? So everyone is agreeing on the point that annotations will go first, then it will come to the listener, then test, then again listener, then annotation. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the correct format. Okay. So what you guys have said here, it would be coming as the listener. Again, it will come here as listener. So why it will happen? Basically, if you see like listeners are what like it's kind of I said right. It's observing the event and it will take the actions according to that. So why it will happen? If you see the listeners activity, listeners are this on test start basically focus on this. On test start is basically for the testing to be listened, right? It doesn't matter if it has been started here, then it would have listened to the before method also. It doesn't need, right? It's only for the on test start. So it's kind of like you are clicking the picture only when someone is in front of you. You are not just blankly clicking picture randomly. So just like that, listeners will only start when the activity is coming just after that only. Like you are starting the record when like you are just suppose recording a video. So you are gonna tap that red button only when there is some activity has started. You are not gonna start it beyond like 5 seconds before. Okay, let's wait when the activity will start, like that. So before method will happen, then the listeners will start acting, because now the testing will start. So listeners will start, test will happen. Again, listeners, depending on the test case activity, it will check it has got passed, it has got failed. According to that, listeners will trigger. Then listeners has already worked, right? I test listener has already worked that, okay, I have listened to the testing thing and I have executed whatever is needed. Then after method will come to the closure that, okay, whatever the prerequisite and the after like post requisite, whatever is there, I have closed it. Got it, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Most probably I can. Okay, I don't want to show because there is still left. Now we have another listener, which is I suit listener. I suit listeners. So here also from the name itself, you can already suggest that what it's gonna do, right? So it's gonna listen to the suit level. Okay. So we have different levels, right? First is suit, then test, then class, then method, then again the same thing. So it is gonna listen to your suit level. Whatever is happening in the whole suit, it's gonna listen to that. Okay. So I suit listener, basically the most used methods are on execution start, on execution finish. Okay. So on execution start, on execution finish, these two are most important. There might be some other methods, I'm not sure. Please go through once, okay? And if you have any doubt, you can reach out to me next step, no issues. So on execution start and also on execution finish. So here, if you see, like for the suit level, it doesn't matter if the test case got passed, test case got failed, test case got skipped, right? Because suit level is getting like it's like a capsule. Whatever is happening inside or whatever I put there, it doesn't matter for the capsule. So just like that, it will just based on the execution start, like in the suit level, the execution is getting started. And at the suit level, when the suit is fully executed, then the execution got finished. That's it. In between, test case got passed, test case got failed. At the last, it will just give a result. Okay, boss, you have run 20 test cases. Among them, 15 got passed, 5 got failed, and skipped 0. Like that, it will just give you a report. That's it. So here also the same thing will happen. So first, before suit will get executed, then here the place will come for the on execution start. Getting me? Then before test, before class, before method, here it will come on test start. Test will happen. Then on test failure after method. Then after class, after test. Then again here it will come on execution finish. Then after suit, it will get closed. Got it?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
not,
sir.
if not clear, I'll tell again.
Sir, can you
Fa-
please tell again?
Yeah. So first it will happen before suit, then on execution start, which is the listener. Then it will come before test, before class, before method, then on test start, which is the listener again. Then from here it will come to here the testing will happen. Okay. So now it will be on test success or failure, whatever it would be. Then it will be after method, after class, after test. Now here on execution finish. And then after suit. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the whole flow of annotations and the listeners merged together. Like here, I can show you. So this was the class which was implementing the ITest listener, right? And here I have the suit event. Okay, so you can see here. So it has multiple. So just focus on the iSuit listener. Okay, so it has the iSuit listener. So iSuit listener, I have given the on execution start, on execution finish. Okay. So like on execution start, on execution finish, it will just like there are some things I'm doing here, like starting the report. And here I'm getting the versions of the browser and which browser I have operated on and end the report. Okay, because it's independent. I have to start the report even if the test case pass or fails or skipped. Even I have to close the report even if the test case pass got failed. In the suit level, it doesn't matter what is happening inside. And then we have different, like these two are different. Yeah. So if I execute it, these are basically still this framework is under process. Okay. So I can show you the listeners are implemented. You can see these lines. That's what you need right now. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, 1 second. I'll just make the test case pass. It will be easier. Just I'll show you the console. Just wait. I'll show you the console. Let it happen. Yeah. So if you see here, in on execution start, see on execution start has started. Okay. Then before test, before class, everything has happened. Then before method. Okay. Browser is in before method. Something has got started, like few things. Then on test start. Then the testing activity has happened. See, enter URL, enter text, clicked on. Then on test success, the test case got passed, right? So on test success got triggered. Then after method. Okay. Then again after test, after class, after test will happen. Then again on execution finish, this will go and then should get closed. Like after suit, if it was there, it would have been executed. It's not there. So got the point how the sequence is working?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's basically the two interfaces, the most important ones. Okay. So like basically if you are working with TestNG, just suppose you are not working in a framework in a linear way. So I would suggest you guys create a framework. I'm very sorry. Create a project, Java project, and there add the external library of TestNG. You know, right? How to add in the Eclipse. So add the TestNG library and create the same class. Like 1 second. I'll check. Just give me one. So create the same class and implement the iSuit listener, iTest listener both in the same class. Okay. Where I can do.
Yes.
Second. So just create a class. Let's say then this happened. Oh. So in the same class, implement the both iSuit listener, iTest listener. Then implement the methods on execution start, on execution finish, on test start, on test success, on test failure. Okay, and create another class where your at the test would be there. Give all the annotations in that class. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying, I'll give you the task so that it will be easy for you. I wanted to explain from here, but so create one class for listeners only. Okay, where you will have a class which implements both the test listener and iSuit listener, both. Implement the methods here. Okay, create another class where you will have the annotations here. Okay, like all the annotations implement here, before suit, after suit, before test, after test, before class, after class. Nothing like in this before after, just keep a CISO like me. Okay, you saw right what I have done, like that. Keep the things so that it will be easy for you to see the console how the execution is happening. Got my point?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Even for here also in the methods you can keep like that, like on test, if you are implementing the like on test success, then just write the same thing on test success, so that later from the console you can understand, okay, if the test case got success, that's why the on test success is happening. So like that, implement here, and you know how to implement, right? So if you want to implement the listener in your, okay, this I haven't told, right? 1 second. I'll show you from here. So my test, I'll show where is my test. Okay, this is my test. Okay, you can see here, right? From here, the actions were happening. Successful login. So I have the annotations here. That's what I'm saying. Keep a class where you will have the annotations. Okay. So if you want to implement the listeners, you have to do this. Add the listeners within the braces. Because I have two things, you will have only one. You don't have to give the curly braces again. Add that listeners, then you have to give that class name. Okay. So maybe yours one is listeners. Okay. You can't give, just don't use any keyword. Give like listener class. Then listener class dot class you have to provide here. Then automatically your at the test will understand, okay, something is listening to me. Then it will active these listeners. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So basically what I said, like if you just suppose this is the one, I don't know why it's giving. Okay. Yeah. So just suppose you are, that's why. Let me check if I can do here. One second. Class. So this is my class, right? Here I'm writing that at the test. So public void something like some. So I'm writing something here like so. Sorry, yes, this doesn't work. Test. So if I want this class to know, or my address test to know that, okay, I have a listener buddy, you have to take care of that. Listener in the braces, you have to give that listener class name with the dot class extension. Okay, this is important. Got my point? Once you do this, like for you, the session will come. This ID is a little bit different. So from here you will get that you have to give the class name, because I have two listeners. That's why I have given the curly braces, but basically for you, it would be only one. You don't have to give the curly braces. And so here is my test. Here is my annotations. So I'm saying the same thing. Create one class for only for listeners. Create one class for all the annotations, and then give here at the rate, like here. What is this?
So by using listener in the test, so that it understand events will be there. So mapping
Yes.
between
Yes.
events and tests happen. That's what, right?
Yes. So basically the thing is, until unless you give this tag at the class level, like even before the class for where your at the rate tests are, it will not know, like your at the rate test will go and it will start running. It will not know, okay, something is listening to me, so I have to execute them also. Okay. And there is another way from is test-ng XML. Okay. In the test-ng XML also you can provide listeners. I'll show you. I don't have implemented that because I don't, two times you don't have to give. So either you can give on the class level here. On the class level, I have give, okay, you have the listeners. Please listen to them where my @test is. Okay, this is one way. And another way is in the test-ng XML, you have to put the listeners in the here also in the class level you can put, or in the suit level also you can put, because I have the iSuit listener also, I have to put one here also. So like that. You can just a little bit Google it. I have forgotten. One second, let me check. This externally dot some. Yeah, you see on the suit level they have given. On the suit level you can give, even on the class level, as much as I know, you can give. Okay. Which class is holding your listener, you have to give that class name with the listener tag in the suit level. That's it. So basically both ways, but you don't have to give the both, because if you give the both, it's gonna throw error, because if some method is already executed, it's not gonna execute again. So basically we do this one. Like I prefer this one. It gives the XML field. So listeners on the class level, wherever my @test would be, I'll keep this header on the top, just before the class declaration. This is the class declaration, right? Just before that. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And what I was saying, yeah, try that. Okay. So create two classes, one class for listener, one class for all the annotations with the @test. Your @test would be there. And create two @test, so that one pass, one fail, so that you can check the listeners with the on test success, on test failure accordingly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that would be all for today. Maybe I'll check tomorrow, like how you guys have done, and if you guys have any doubts. I'll also do that ID porter and ID tree analyzer